Namaskar Moflow. Do you got tight hips? Does it hurt when you get up? To just even to get up and go move, go get your coffee, maybe during a break. Are you sitting at a desk for the better part of the day? You sit to get to work, you sit at work typically, and you're going to rinse and repeat on the way home. So we've got this chronic sense of tight hips, and the hips, they're all around. So you're gonna have tight hip flexors, you're gonna have a tight lumbar and a support system. So we want to be well aware of what we've got going on. As Shakira would say, my hips don't lie. So listen to your hips, listen to your body, be aware of the postures that we're gonna be in, going to your soft edge, never really to your never to your pain threshold, but only to your soft edge. And for the first time, go through this with me, stay in the flow, but then later on, when you want to do this, when you go back to do a little bit more of your own homework, feel free to add on or take away as far as the longevity of how you hold poses or the intensity of it. We're going to need blocks today. Props are our friend. I'm a big fan of props. Many styles don't use them, but I love them. So walls, floors, blocks, straps, they're props. Use what you need. I'd rather have you have extra blocks, or if you don't have blocks, maybe it's a thick book. But I'd rather have you have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But my class today is going to be at least 2 blocks. So get what you need to get. And in the meantime, before we get started, if you would hook a brother up, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and get those notifications for when the Moflow drops new stuff. But let's go ahead, get our blocks, get our mats, head out onto the floor. All right, so we're ready to do this. I've got 2 blocks. If you need more, use them. If you don't have blocks, again, maybe a thick book, something that it's going to give you a little bit of lift. Maybe it's only like 4 to 6 inches. That's all we need. A little bit. Micromanaging can seem like a lot when we're working and stretching. So here we go. Just start off in a good old-fashioned tabletop position. We're going to go into some cat-cow. Start to move a little bit, groove a little bit, unhinge, chip away all the rust off the underwear from what you've had going on throughout the day. Your cat-cow doesn't have to be traditional. You can go side to side, going in circular motions, but just make sure that you are going both ways. And overdo it, over-animate it, so that you are consciously working parts. Like I'm trying to push my spine through my shoulder blades. And I'm going to try and drop the spine through the shoulder blades. And also tuck the, we're going to tuck the butt, but I'm not tucked right now. So right now I'm lifting my butt, lifting my chin, but now I've got to tuck my butt. And I'm going to really try and round that lower back. I've got a pretty stiff back lumbar, so I'm going to try to round it. I'm going to suck my belly up towards my spine and tuck my chin in. And on your own, popping what needs to be popped. Maybe you need to work the wrists a little bit. Figuring out what needs to be figured out. But always breathing and always listening to you. So we're going to get going. Downward facing dog. First dogs I like to do, I like to think of them as sloppy dogs. Just kind of, they're messy, they're not perfect. I'm just looking to see what I can move and push into and breathe peaceably.
rolling, cracking, doing what needs to be done. And then rolling it forward to a high plank, making sure that your shoulders are stacked over your wrists, and then a little bit of gentle forward and back, making sure that the elbows are turned back behind you, so that if we were to come down, chaturanga, the elbows would be right where they need to be. But I'm going to now push back to downward facing dog. Try not to adjust too much. If you've got tight hamstrings, just put a bend in the knees. And play, since we're working the hips, play with a little bit of this booty movement. And push the butt towards the wall behind you. Pushing your chest towards your thighs will push your butt back. Softening the heels. And now, bring the left foot to center. Inhale the right leg up high in the air. Go ahead. Push back a little bit more. Roll the ankles. Crack the toes. Maybe you're drawing big circles with your knees to kind of start to lubricate the hips. We're not really lubricating. We're just warming them up. Warming up the synovial fluid that's already in the body. And now we're simply going to look forward. Step forward. Drop the left knee down. Inhale, come on up. Chandrasana moon pose. Reaching on up high. This whole business of reaching on up and then settling in, it's kind of pointless. We're wanting to work that back. So we're reaching on up. The inhales reach. The exhales come into that back bend. So right now, I'm just taking it easy. This first one is just a stretch. Simply exhale, fold forward. Plant those hands, step right back, downward facing dog. Find stillness. Try not to nurse or baby that hip, that knee, that anything. Right foot's gonna come towards center just a little bit. Inhale the left leg up high. Draw those circles, play with it. Loosen it up. And then push it back. Look forward. Step forward. Drop that right knee down carefully. Inhale is gonna come up, Chandrasana, other side. Stabilizing first, then inhale lifts up. We're trying to get something like a present off the top of a shelf, and then exhale, lean into it, push into it gently, your soft edge. Anytime this hurts, the shoulders, bring those hands down the heart center. It's a good place to be, but we're not rounding forward. We're still going to try and get those shoulders working. We're still going to always be active. Pushing in this a little bit more. And then slowly exhale, fold forward, plant the hands, step back, downward facing dog. Walk your dog again, pedal the foot. Stillness. We're going to move on. So stabilize. Make sure your hands are rooted into the mat, the floor, so you don't slide forward. Toes to touch. Inhale the right leg up high in the air. We're going to exhale, knee to nose. Inhale out. Exhale. Round it in. Inhale out. Exhale. Round it in. See if you can lift that knee forward. Foot up, look forward, step that right foot forward, drop that left knee down again. We've been here, lifting on up into Chandrasana moon pose. First round was a stretch, sorry. This one's gonna be a little bit more work and stretch. So my first
thing I want to do is my right foot. My front foot is my right foot right now. I'm going to try and pull forward. My left hip and my left knee are, my left knee's down, but my left hip is going to try and pull me back. So I'm strong scissor action in here. And now I've engaged my butt, my glutes. Inhale, reach on up. Pulling everything to center, reaching on up high into a back bend. Well, 3 to 4 breaths, and then we'll start to loosen up. Plant the hands. This time we're going to step back, chaturanga. Flatten out those feet. Inhale, up dog. This should feel good on the hips after that. And then rise the booty up. Roll over the toes. Bring the feet back to center. Downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up high. Exhale, knee to nose. Or round it in. Whatever you can, bring that knee to center. That's a better way of saying it. One more. Inhale out. Exhale, round it, lift it, step it. Now we're going to drop it. Stabilize. Inhale, lift on up. Chandrasana moon pose. Remembering, now my left leg, it's pulling me forward. My back leg is pulling me back. So I'm meeting in the middle. My right glute just started to fire up naturally to support. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. It's going to warm us up. Slowly fold forward, plant the hands. Chaturanga. Up dog. Engage the calves, the hips, the quads. Pull the chest slightly forward. And then lift the hips up. Kind of that rounded cat spine, rolling over the toes. Downward facing dog. We're going to bend the knees. Lift the heels. Mine are already lifted. Yours might be too. Exhale. Hop, step, or jump. Utkatasana, chair pose. Same rules apply. If this hurts, hands to heart center. We're going to exhale, fold forward. And grab your blocks. Get them close, because we're going to rock out with our block out. I know, corny, but thank you, Biohazard. So keep everything near. We're in this chair pose. Simply going to inhale the right leg up high in the air. Right knee, left ankle. Just for a moment, it's a hip opener. Hands to heart center. The lower you go, the more this foot is going to get locked in. Then we're going to come up, flow it back. Look at that. We're in Chandrasana again. But you're like, hey, dude, where's the block come in? Here we go. Take your block the long way so your foot can go on it. Place it where your foot would be. Step that foot there. Now my left leg is on and forward. Keep your right block near. Inhale, lifts the chest and the spine. Exhale, sink into this modified Chandrasana moon pose. Find what you need to find as far as where your hands are going. If you're in need of a little bit of a twist, let's do it. So you put the right hand on the left thigh and then just twist open. That's one option. Another option is to have both arms out. Maybe even just put that left hand behind you, right hand kind of up. Holding your head, leaning back, getting an armpit stretch in there. But we're going to come out of this. So we're just come out the same way that we went into it. So I'm holding here. I'm going to open up. I'm going to hold here, twist that one last time. Maybe I bring my gaze over my left hand, and then I'm going to come back through. This is where it's going to get loco. So you can move the hips a little bit, feel good, just to unhinge it. I like to use this extra block as a kickstand. So I can lean forward, put pressure on my, with my right hand, curl the right toes, start to straighten it out. We're in a low runner's lunge with a modified block. If you don't need that block and you don't need to rest on there, lift on up into a high lunge, Anjaneyasana. My right hip wants to cheat and kind of open up to the right a little bit. Close it again, if that's what you've got going on. We're gonna get a little crazy, so take a few moments here. There's one. We're gonna straighten out the leg like a modified pyramid pose, just to feel that sweet release. And then here comes the big show. We're leaning back down into this lunge, and then hands to heart center. Inhale, exhale. Bring the knee close to the ground. Inhale, high. Exhale, low. Inhale, high. Exhale, low. One more. Inhale, high. Exhale, low. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. We're gonna send the hips back. I have my Lululemons on, my cement Lululemons. My hips aren't moving. I'm gonna bring my block here, straighten out my left leg. I'm in a modified Ardha Hanumanasana. The reason I like to use the block center, keeps that spine straighter. I mean, we can round down, but that's a different practice. That's just something that I'm not choosing to do today. We're here, we're getting a nice stretch here. We've worked both sides. Same thing applies though. If we need a little bit more twisting in the thoracic, simply open up. Ooh, yeah, feel that. My quad let go, my hamstring said hello. And if you feel good with it, challenge your vision. Slowly look up to the left hand. If this sucks, you don't like it, just come back to neutral. But maybe in between, you actually do that shoulder rinse. Feel yourself wobble, but feel yourself become stable and strong and confident. Bring that heel back a little bit. Lean forward, wiggle that foot off, step the block to the side. Low lunge, warrior two. Still working on this left leg, it's forward. I'm opening up my hip, my thigh. My hips are aiming kind of off to the side. I want to still get that flat, that parallel arms, and then straighten it out. Turn all the toes the same direction. Open up, exhale, fold forward. And again, blocks, varying levels to help you with a flat spine. Try not to let your head hang low, but try and slightly look forward to help keep that spine straight. And now, if you've been following any of my videos, you know that I like to move a little bit, groove a little bit. So you can go into this Skandasana. You can also revisit the modification, stepping a foot on that block, getting your archer pose modified. So again, flat back, you can lift the right toes up, pull that bow back. Really feeling it now on the other side. Hands down. Left arm stays down, right arm twists up. Still trying to drop this right hip down. And now a little fun. We're gonna just push off, straighten out that left leg. We're almost in a warrior two here for a moment, but simply float that back leg. Oh, yeah, simple, huh? Coming into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. And it might feel good to do kind of a reach back, pulling on that quad that was just working out so hard. My drishti, my vision, is on the wood grain so that I'm not looking at something that's moving. Maybe put your hand down. Release that. And we're simply going to step back, flow up, turn, and step that block. Either step back to downward facing dog or step back, chaturanga. Give those hips a good stretch to downward facing dog. Bend the knees, lift the heels, look forward, pause. Maybe bring those forearms down to the ground, close. Here, I'll let you see a little better. Inhale up, exhale down. Looking forward through the hands. Up, down, and hop, step, or jump. Chair pose. Inhale, rise, reach up, hands down, chair pose. Left leg is going to cross onto my right knee. Remembering the lower, the more cinched this hip is going to be. You might even have in your practice to get so low that you can bring your hands to the floor. But we're gonna rise up, float that left leg back, high lunge, So we can drop down, Chandrasana. Maybe you need to take a moment on this side. But we're gonna get our props ready. Right foot on the block. Stabilize. Lift the hips up. Lift the arms up. Push the hips forward. Relax the glutes, the left, and activate them. See where you feel more stable. Feel what you feel. And remember, we can come up a little bit. We can twist. Bringing that vision over the right arm. Hands can come into a half bind or onto that thigh. Reaching on up. Moving your hair back a little bit. Now you're like a debutante, some sort of model. We're getting a nice belly side fascia hip flexor stretch here. Coming on out. I forgot to do the twist a little bit more with this hand. Left hand, right thigh. Now I'm going to come out of it. Reach on up. So earlier I was talking about getting warm fast, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Starting to warm up, so I need to regulate. Inhale through the nose, open up the mouth, HA, let that heat out. It's a good time to stall, to kind of regain, adjust your block. We're gonna lean slightly forward, and then inhale, high lunge, Anjaneyasana. Remember, you could still play. Yoga Vinyasa flow is very creative and very organic. You can do different things with it. But I need to reset my foot because I want to be able to confidently bring the knee down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. One more. We're gonna hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it. Find that little bit of movement. If it felt good to do it from more of a pyramid stance, modifications or alterations are our friend. So I'm resetting, I'm stable. Inhale. Exhale, hips over knee. Straighten out the right leg. Adjust that block as needed. Fold forward, Ardha Hanumanasana half splits. My bad right side wants to pop out so much. So I'm turning it in. Active feet, engaged muscles, so we protect the joints. Remember, there's our twisted variation. My right hip floated, turn it back, twist open. back to where you need to be. Maybe folding forward a little bit more. Each side's gonna be a little different. Maybe you can get down lower on the medium. Well, you can get lower on the medium, but maybe you can. And let's come out of it. Adjust. Separate that. Straighten out that left leg. Look slightly forward. Inhale, we're gonna rise on up, but just flow. We know we're going into Warrior Two, so let's just enjoy it. Opening up that natural curve inward, we're gonna try and turn it open. Might feel good to straighten it out, feel that release, then back into it. As you develop your own flow, you can exalt your warrior, reverse it, humble it. Just know that you can always add on. But we're gonna straighten out that leg, turn all the toes the same direction. The inhale is gonna lift the chest. You're gonna feel nice relaxation of the hip flexors. Lift the chest up on the inhale, exhale, fold forward. Grab your buddy the block. If you don't need the block, don't use it. I work on my fingertips often so I can keep that flat spine. Inhale's gonna lift and straighten. Exhale, I'm gonna try and push the butt back, hips back, chest down. Finding now the slow flow. Figuring out just cool stuff. And again, since this is the other side, we kind of know where we're going. We can start to incorporate more twists depending on what you need. Going down to Skandasana without a block. Or with it. Arm on the inside of that thigh, that knee opens up a little bit more. Maybe you need to drop that hip, turning it down. Slowly coming on out of it, but adjust so that now we can basically float into that Chandrasana half moon. Reaching back, grabbing that foot. Bringing that hand down, maybe. And if you're gonna fall into it gracefully. We're gonna release it. Flow it back on up into that Warrior Two. Simply turn. Folding forward, stepping back, chaturanga. If you need more arm stuff, just go ahead, crank out as many little yogi push-ups as you want to downward facing dog. To child's pose. Toes touch, knees are out wide. Since our hands are strong and rooted, inhale, exhale, push your butt back. Bring it all down. And relax.
Stay here as long as you want. Trying to regulate, get your breath back. It never really left you, but you want to be in control of it. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth is going to cool you down. One more. We're going big. Inhale through the nose. HA, exhale. Slowly coming on up. Sitting back however you want. After that, good quad stretch might feel good, but you're like, dude, I'm sore, I'm achy. Remember, rock out with your block out. So we're gonna sit down on that block. Settle the butt down, lift the shoulders up, roll them back. Quite a bit of work on the legs, the quads, the lower back. We got some twists going on in there. We're gonna close out with a little bit more shoulder work. So arms out to a giant letter T. We've opened, we've twisted, that sort of thing, but we're gonna bring it all inwards. Right arm underneath the left. Garudasana arms, eagle arms. Play with this. We're gonna try and bring everything to center. Now, I'm feeling it really in between the shoulder blades. But I want you to see, does it feel better up? Does it feel better down? And maybe it even feels great to round down. Almost done. We're gonna inhale, lift up. One last leg stretch with those arms. Eagle, moon. Release the bind, open up the arms. Do some big circles. Go back the other way. Other arm. There we go. It felt too easy, felt too good. Remember, we're aiming to sameness, similar, so it did feel pretty good. But bringing it all to center, either pushing down or lifting up, whichever feels better for you. Find the sweet spot, then breathe in it and through it, and then inhale, exhale, round down. Inhale up. We're going to step that left leg forward. Last stretch. Release your bind. Sitting back and feeling good. Thank you very much for breathing with me, moving with me, and hopefully really being well aware of how your body was reacting and how were you able to compensate to make for a better form. I hope that you do this often and that you feel better each time adapting it to you. So, if you have any comments or questions, you know where to write them in the box down below. Again, I would also really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed and got those notifications. Thank you very much. Namaskar, Moflows.